Developing Algorithms with Arrays Part 8. In this video, we will demonstrate how to shift the elements of an array. Consider the following array of integers, and suppose I want to shift each element in this array 3 spots to the right. Well, the first step in doing that would be declaring a second array of the exact same length. I'm going to name this array temp, which is short for temporary. I call it that because I'm only going to temporarily use this reference variable, and I'm going to initialize it to an integer array of the exact same length as the original array, hence why I put nums.length inside the brackets. Afterwards, since I'm shifting each element 3 spots to the right, that means the value at index 0 of the original array will go to index 3 of the new array, and the value at index 1 will go to index 4 of the new array, and the value at index 2 will go to index 5 of the new array, and the value at index 3 will go to index 6 of the new array. After this, however, is when the situation becomes tricky, because when we add 3 to index 4, we get 7 for the new index. But 7 is not a valid index because the length of the array is 7, meaning 6 is the highest index. So what should be done in that situation? What should be done is that the value should wrap around and go to the first spot, index 0 of the new array. Likewise, for the value at index 5, when we add 3 to 5, we get 8, which once again is an invalid index. It's 2 spots above what the highest possible index could be. Thus, it needs to wrap around and move to the second spot in the array. Likewise, for the value at index 6, when we add 3 to that number, we get 9, which is 3 above what the highest possible index can be for this array. Thus, it needs to wrap around and go to the third spot in the array. And that completes the shifting process. Now, how will this look in code? Well, we start by initializing our for loop. Since we're visiting each value in the array one by one, starting from front to back, we want to initialize I to 0 and increment it by 1 each time until we reach the length of the array. Then, inside the for loop, we want to determine what the new index would be. And obviously, since we're shifting each value 3 spots to the right, we want to add 3 to the value of I, because I represents the current index. However, that's not all we want to do. We also need to add a way to make sure that this value wraps around anytime it goes above or below the highest or lowest possible index. How do we do that? With the mod operator, by taking this sum and applying it to mod the length of the nums array. By adding modulus nums.length, this ensures that we will only get values between 0 and the length minus 1. Anytime it goes above that value or below that value, the value will wrap around to the opposite end. Afterwards, now that the new index is completed, we can then use that index inside temp to assign the value at index I of the nums array to that location. And then that would complete the for loop, thus shifting all the elements to its new spot. Once done, all that's left to do is to assign temp to the nums instance variable, thus moving the nums instance variable to the new array and destroying the original array, thus completing the shift.